three principles or guidelines that are very, very essential for brahmacharis? Any top three? There are 30 maybe, 300 maybe, but some top three, most essential, no, non-compromising, non-negotiable aspects.
Yeah, I would first place the morning program, 4:30 to 9:30. Active and enthusiastic participation in the morning program. That is like a foundation of the whole day. I would consider it like the root of the tree. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is honest avoidance of opposite sex. Because time and time again we read in the Puranas, whether it is Vishwamitra or whether it is Saubari or so many other people. In fact, in one of the purports, Prabhupada writes, many great stalwarts in devotional line, Prabhupada writes. He's not talking about Mayavadis. Many stalwarts in devotional line, which means in the Bhaktas Parampara also, many stalwarts have become victims to women and wealth, he says. Like there was an Ananta Vasudev, who was a very, very famous stalwart scholar amongst the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so who was victimized by a woman. So we have to be very careful, honest avoidance of opposite sex. I would make it a second thing. And the third I would say is, there is one verse in the Bhagavatam, I think it is 11th canto, 11.8.2, I don't know which chapter it is, but it is talking about parasvabhava karmani yah prashansati nindati sahyashu prashyate swarthat asati abhiniveshataha. And this verse says that, if one becomes too much bothered about the dualities of this world, namely Sukh Dukh, Shitoshna, Manapaman, Jai Parajay, Labha Labha of this world, if I am going to be too much bothered about it, and based on that, if I do parasvabhava karmani, other svabhava and karma, I do alochana, I do criticism of that, then my mind will become absorbed in matter. And sahyashu brashyate swartha, the swartha which is Vishnugati, that will be lost, I say. But to put it in very simple words, if we criticize other Vaishnavas in a quality, their swabhava under karma, if you criticize their nature, this fellow is lazy, that fellow is crazy, and things like that. Criticizing their nature or their activities, that will bury us in samsara. And if we can keep ourselves aloof from it, then we can focus on Krishna. So three things I said: the importance of the morning program, and honest avoidance of opposite sex, and avoidance of the criticism of unnecessary. As managers, sometimes we have to find fault, but we have to find fault with the desire to help them and uplift them, rather than ridicule them, mock at them, and then derive some delight in it.
Thank you, Prabhu. So three essential principles, sir. Morning program, honest avoidance of opposite gender, and avoiding Vaishnava Ninda. Thank you. So in this regard, coming to the first point that you made, morning program, many devotees are preaching in the villages here, and the audience are available in the nights only, evening time, late in the evening, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. So devotees have to do their program, one evening program there, and they have to travel from a place which is like half an hour or 1 hour away from this place, and they come late in the night and sleep, and that affects the morning japa, morning sadhana. So you have been preaching since 3 decades. Definitely you must be having some programs like this, and devotees who are trained by also having some programs. So do you have some tips, Prabhu, where devotees
in the city of Bombay, it is really a very great sacrifice for the brahmacharis. I have seen that one senior brahmachari in Chowpatty temple, while talking to me, was telling that some programs start at 8 o'clock only, he said. 8:30, correct, no? 9 also. My Lord. And by the time it ends, it becomes like, 10:30, 11, and 12. And then when you commute from there, you return at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then morning program gets affected. It's very difficult, it is. I, in my personal life, what I have been doing since 1996, I can say, I had one very flat policy that wherever I am doing congregation program, I will start at 7. Even if there is one person, I will start Kirtan at 7 o'clock. 7 to 7:15 Kirtan, and 7:15 to 8:30, 1 hour 15 minutes I will give a lecture. Uh, and some questions for 10-15 minutes, and then 8:45 to 9, Kirtan again at the end. 9 o'clock I leave the place and tell them, anybody want to meet me, you have to meet me only in the weekend. Weekday and the program day I don't meet anybody after the program. I don't meet. Immediately I'll go to a neighborhood voice center, student center. Night stay there, next day morning get up, do the program for the youth there. Because I will reach by 9:10, 9:15 I'll reach. Then I can get up by 3:30, 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. And then do the whole morning program with the youths and then go back to temple. This I've been doing for several years. And I don't entertain late night programs. Even in America also, in my travels, many people told who will come at 7 o'clock and all they said. I said, you see, I am telling you my program 3 months in advance. I have in my calendar is marked for the whole year actually. By November, my next year calendar is online already. So if people really want to come for my program, they will make time. They can go to office early in the morning. They can come early for the program. And one more advantage I have now, because I am a little old in age now, and I have been around for some time, and I am mostly taking care of the leaders. There are 4-5 layers of leaders are there. So I do more programs with the congregation, leaders, brahmachari leaders, youth leaders, that kind of groups. Most of my programs I can say I'm doing like that. Maybe 60% of my programs I'm doing like that. So those programs can be during the daytime. So like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Most of my programs I complete in that. And I am not stretched for, and I don't go for any mass public events, 5,000 people sitting. As soon as the invitation comes, I'll reject right away. I don't accept those things. Yeah. So, because I'm not after that. Basically, my preaching means, me and Gaurang Prabhu used to discuss sometimes. Gaurang Prabhu says, preaching means distribute the seeds, let the mass of the people pick up. And then someday, gradually it will fructify. And he has realization of that. One boy in IIT used to chant only one round. After 16 years, he came to 16 rounds. So Gaurang Prabhu used to say, because he was a good friend of Gaurang Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu says, see here, he would say that here is an example. That means the seeds of Krishna consciousness will gradually fructify. Don't be too passionate to make them devotee. That is Gaurang Prabhu's realization. My realization is different. For me, preaching means bring them to initiated devotee or section on the devotee. Only then I will say it's preaching. Otherwise, I'm not very keen about other types of preaching. And after they become section on the devotee or initial devotee, we should identify the leadership materials in that amongst them, who are there, and then train them in leadership so that they take responsibility in Prabhupada's ISKCON Society as HODs, vice presidents of projects. And they should be able to run projects with a group of devotees. And those group of devotees they only have to preach and bring. And then in this way, so this is one of the ways I have been functioning like that. So because of that, I have made my lifestyle in such a way that 9 to 9, if I am giving myself during the day, that is good enough.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. That's an amazing example. But sometimes our devotees feel that we have to give personal time at that time only. But we have made a system that suits your personal sadhana also, prioritizing that also, while doing the needful in the preaching. Thank you.
Because when you say Janma Sahaka Kori Kara Paravapakar, half of our success is in morning program. If I attend 4:30 to 9:30, I feel victorious. Now, I am already 50% successful. Other 50% is in preaching. We can also preach to people and make devotees. But if we set a good example in the morning, many will watch our good example and they will become devotees also. There are two ways we can make devotees. One by example, another one by convincing them. So I very strongly feel that the future of our ISKCON Society is in those leaders who are actually living a life of pure character and strict morning program and spiritual focus, and they are stable devotees, and they don't die without leaving successors. So they should have a many successors they should leave and then go. So then the future is very bright. On the other hand, think of the opposite behavior. You know, people who have spent many years in ISKCON but who don't have interest in morning program, and people who have dubious character, and people who speak more than practice more. So that's a very bleak future for the society.
Yesterday also you were mentioning one of the most inspiring aspects of Srila Prabhupada's personality in you is uncompromisingly speaking the truth.
Correct.
So in practice also there is no compromise. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And regarding, like, you, in your answer you mentioned that you have a certain realization, certain mood. When you preach to someone, you want to bring them to a standard of practice, make them 16 rounders, and get them become initiated devotees. And Garam Prabhu has a mode of, distributing seeds. Let them take 16 years to chant 16 rounds, but let distribute the seeds. Now, different devotees have different moods,
Yes.
different ways of functioning.
And because Krishna has made us all uniquely.
Yes. So,
Just like different flowers. Like, jasmine flower has fragrance. Gerbera flower has beauty. Lotus has honey. So every flower has its uniqueness. Cuckoo has one type of sound, and peacock has another, and parrot has another. So I understood this over the years, that we should learn to appreciate the variety amongst the devotees. Just like in a flower vase, imagine a flower has only got white flowers. All of them are white flowers. It doesn't look so great. But if you have a flower vase with multiple color flowers of different sizes and shapes and fragrances, then flower vase looks beautiful. So variety is the mother of enjoyment. So Krishna also enjoys variety. He has Rukmini also, Satyabhama also. So therefore I feel that this uniqueness is there amongst the devotees, which should be appreciated. Amogila Prabhu has one style, Amarendra Prabhu has another style, Gaurang Prabhu has another style. So I over a period of time I learned to appreciate the variety and not see that, hey, this guy is different from me, he's not like me. Yeah.
So generally, the leader's emphasis influences the follower, the subordinate.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So if the subordinate has a certain mood,
Yeah.
and the leader has a certain mood,
Yeah.
and both are genuine in their own ways,
Correct.
unique in their own ways,
Correct.
and if there is a genuine incompatibility,
Mm.
so what should the subordinate do?
Yeah. When we are working under a authority, for example, in 2.13, Lord Krishna is telling that, we all are born in a particular body which gradually grows, and we have a conditionings. So we are supposed to rise above that bodily conditioning, that bodily consciousness we say. So in 2.13 he says that in 2.14 he talks about tolerance for a higher purpose. Say I am working under certain authority, and the authority has certain expectations. Even if my authority's idea will work only say 70% perfect or 70% success, and my idea is 120% perfect, I would still cooperate with my authority for one reason. Because if I cooperate with the authority, there is unity between authority and subordinate. And that unity will bring about a very healthy mindset in both. And within 2, 3, 4 years, you will see the authority will have so much trust in the subordinate, he will hand over the whole thing to subordinate with full trust and giving him practically 100% freedom. But if the subordinate doesn't align with authority in the early stage, he says that, Prabhu, yours is only 70% right, mine is 120% right, I am going to do what I like. Then that cleavage between relationship will never produce trust in the long run. And that distrust is going to disunite the group, and nothing comes out well. I have seen with my own eyes, whenever we made teams of devotees in different places. So a wife should always be submissive to the husband. At the beginning you will see that. And then once the husband sees the submissiveness of the wife and he is conquered, then you will see that the wife has upper hand. All the Lakshmi he brings and gives it to wife only. She becomes finance minister of the house. And husband wants something, she has to release the money. Even Lord says that Sastriya Satpatim Yata, the Lord says. The devotees of the Lord by the submissiveness have conquered Lord Vishnu's heart. So I would say the first step in authority-subordinate relationship is, if one considers authority a fool, then the relationship will never come out well. In Vedic life, even if a husband is not so smart, your wife would consider him my mister, my mister. They have a lot of respect. In the modern times, even if husband is a smart fellow bringing to 3 lakh rupees per month, also still wife considers him a muff. You know, we find that, and they think I'm better. So authority should, subordinate should think that if I don't cooperate with my authority now, tomorrow when I become authority, then my subordinates also will not cooperate with me. I was very surprised in Pune. One fellow said to me, Prabhuji, these fellows, you have to come and convince them to follow me. He said, I said, you are not following anybody. How will they follow you? He doesn't want to follow his authority, but he wants his subordinates to be completely aligned with him. So this is ridiculous. So the first thing is, instead of asking authority to align to my plan, I should be willing to align with authority's plan, the first one. And that's an austerity. And Krishna says, if you do that austerity, the result is amritatvam, you will get. Yam hyena vatayantyete purusham purusharishabha samadukka sukham dhiram somritattvaya kalpate. He says you will attain amritatvam eventually. By that tolerance for a higher cause. Secondly, what I would do, you should follow the principle of 4.34, 2.7 if you see it. In these verses, submissive approach to the superior is mentioned. Like, one should take some, and one can actually go to superior and say that, Prabhu, if you don't mind, can I clarify with you, regarding this matter, he told this, I am finding some difficulty. Even Arjuna is asking, Katame tat vijaniya, pamado proktavanati. How am I to understand Krishna that you and Vivaswan were contemporaries? He never said, I think Krishna, you are bluffing, I think. You are making a fool out of me. He didn't say like that. He said, how am I to understand? So, approach your authority submissively and present your difficulty and get clarification then. Or one can approach authority privately, one-on-one, and say, Prabhu, I am having great difficulty. I didn't want to say no to you, but I am finding it, this is almost impossible to me, next to impossible. But I feel ashamed to say it's impossible for me. If you can help me out with this, like Shishyaste ham shadi mam tam prapanna, how Arjuna surrendered, you can see that. So, this kind of submissive approach will win the trust of the authority. Authority will definitely be able to make some modification in the service, or he'll give some additional support to help this devotee in the service. Something it'll attract, and it'll get better. Say, for example, I have a strict authority. I can learn discipline from that authority. If I have lenient authority, I can take self-responsibility. Isn't it? And I have authority who is completely Vindas, he doesn't care about anything. There are also, people like that. Then we will have to take responsibility and make sure that we become more organized.
You are saying baby counselor and Baba counselor.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Isn't it? Like baby counselor means overly controlling. Baba counselor means completely. Like one counselor, his counselor has gone to Germany to do a job, and he settled for 2 years there. He doesn't know that he has gone to Germany. Somebody told him, Prabhu, your counselor is in Germany. Oh, is it? I don't know. So he's a Baba counselor. So that means he is in his own world like that. So if authority is like that, then the subordinate has to become more organized, more planned. Okay, he is not giving me a blueprint, then I have to make my own blueprint. So in this way, whatever type of authority Krishna gives us, we have to know that Krishna has put me in this situation for my purification, for my upliftment. Yeah. So one can think like that. I also would do one more thing. Sometimes you can consult seniors and tell them that I am facing difficulty with my authority. Prabhu, what can one do in this situation? Because talking to some 2-3 seniors will give us multiple angles on how to deal with the situation. You can take guidance. I seriously would consider that if I am put in any authority-subordinate relationship, it's a spiritual thing, not a material thing. Because the organization is spiritual and the mission of ISKCON is spiritual. And we are all actually ultimately working for Prabhupada's mission. So this is not like Infosys or Microsoft company relationship. This is a spiritual relationship. My authority has been given to me by my spiritual master. So, like for example, I went to Pune. Many difficulties came. And His Holiness Jagannath Maharaj would be abroad. So I took a lot of help of His Grace Sanat Kumar Prabhu, His Grace Govind Prabhu, His Grace Shamananda Prabhu. These people helped me with managing the situation in Pune very much. And I see their instruction for me is as good as taking from my spiritual master. I don't see any difference. because they are faithfully practicing devotees, and you just follow what they teach, and then everything came out well. And people like Radha Gopinath Prabhu, he would clarify how to deal with emotionally disturbing situations while dealing with certain devotees. So he was very maturely, coolly, he would taught how to deal. So consulting many devotees, seniors whom we adore in our heart, that's a very big help for us to deal with the difficult situations. That will make life very easy for us, because we don't have to depend only on our own head. We have so many other more intelligent people, more anubhavi also, more experienced for many years. We can draw support from them, and then things will become very cool for us.
Thank you, Prabhu. So once His Grace Sanat Kumar Prabhu was giving a presentation on the art of following authority. So he was mentioning that honestly expressing your inability to render some service is not a spiritual crime. But manipulating the authority and manipulating them and making them say what you want to hear is a aparadha.
Correct.
He was saying like that. And even His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj said that even if your authority is off, if you are respectful, if you are submissive, if you uphold Vaishnava culture, Krishna will show mercy. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing your insights.
And also, in case it has happened that sometimes there is a terrible incompatibility. Sometimes, one has it's like water and fire. Sometimes. So if such is the case, then what should one do? Then one makes a plan to move off from that position. One should not abruptly drop and run away. Rather, one should tell the authority that, Prabhu, now we both have discussed with the temple president or somebody. Now I am going to move to another department, but I promise you that I will do a KT. I will do the knowledge transfer, and then gradually I'll move out. And I'll ensure that the service doesn't suffer. Somebody next to me, you give me a substitute, I will hand over. By doing this, even though you are leaving the department, you win the heart of that superior. He thinks that, although I had difficulty with him, still he is not taking revenge against me by dropping and running away. He is carefully handing over and going. So that is why the soul of organizational culture is Vaishnava culture. Without Vaishnava culture, there is no organizational culture.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. You shared multiple perspectives on how a subordinate should deal with authority, respect, and even if there is incompatibility, still upholding the Vaishnava culture, making an attempt to be compatible as much as humanly possible, and expressing it respectfully. Now, from the perspective of authority, because many devotees who have spent some time in the movement will become in charge or leaders of a group or at least a couple of individuals they need to lead. So as leaders, as authorities, so what are some of the responsibilities that they need to take, especially dealing with subordinates who may not be very compatible, and there is no other option also. We don't have anyone else. So how to...
in the Srimad Bhagavatam there is a verse, it says, Titikshaya karunaya maitriya chakila jantushu samatvena sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati. In this verse, Prabhupada says, Titikshaya means we should tolerate our superiors, he says. Karunaya means we should be compassionate to the juniors. And maitriya means friendship with the equals, he says. So now, why should we tolerate superiors? We may sometimes get correction or chastisement or feedback. We have to tolerate without becoming angry. And when it comes to juniors, he says we should look at them with a compassionate disposition, he says. Which means somebody is coming newly into the department, he is finding the service difficult. And by encouraging them and training them and be willing to listen to them, understand their difficulties and guiding them, even for some period of time, once they develop confidence in the service, then they'll go on and on for a long time. So that compassionate disposition on the part of the superior is required. Another thing very much required on the part of superior is a clarity of what is expected of the subordinate. For example, if I don't show clarity, after 3 months I yell at that person, you have not done anything. He will say, you didn't tell me to do anything, he will say. And now you are saying, I didn't do anything. So the clarity of vision, in this period of time, this is expected of you. And if you have any doubts, you can always come back to me. Another thing is being available. Because some seniors are not available. We should be available on phone, available on email, available personally if possible. You know, in some method, some mode, we have to be available to them. Because I am giving service, I become obliged to guide them also. I should take responsibility for guiding them. Without guiding them, I can't expect that the service will be done. Being available to them. And then the authority should know that me and him are one. Like Krishna and Arjuna are one in the goal in which they wish to achieve. Because Krishna wants to see Arjuna succeed in the battle, and Arjuna also wants to succeed to please Krishna. So authority and subordinate are in the same boat. We should never draw a line between the authority and subordinate and say, you are a muff, you are not doing anything. If you say that, then we are creating a cleavage. But if authority says to subordinate that, oh alas, we had a great loss in the last month, so let us make the next month successful. So we should talk in we language. By talking in we language, the subordinate understands that the authority is also ready to take a share of the mistakes committed in the previous month. It's not that only I am at fault. So in this way, keeping authority and subordinate together is very important. And also, not assume that subordinate knows everything. But therefore, I was telling about the clarification. And also authority should quote Prabhupada pastimes or spiritual master's pastimes to tell the subordinate, see, Prabhupada did like this, Maharaj did like this. That's why we also want to do like that. What do you say? That would be more pleasing to them than saying, I am telling you because I am your authority. That will not be very pleasing to them. They will say, who are you? Have you descended from the sky? So, therefore, we have to back up ourselves with our superiors. When our subordinates see that we are not hanging from the sky, but we are supported by our superiors, then naturally they will respectfully follow what we say. And also, we should be transparent. If there is any kind of corruption in our decision making, nepotism or favoritism, corruption, that kind of thing, they observe subordinates. One example I'll tell you. In the deity room, on the festival days, there is a lot of special items and all. So one Mataji is coming and asking, and one Brahmachari is not giving. He is telling subordinate, kuch nahi hai bolo, nahi milega. Then another Mataji comes, and the subordinate is telling, हमारे authority ने बोला कुछ नहीं है. And the authority is saying, hey, उनको कैसे कुछ नहीं बोला? उनको रुकने के लिए बोला. And he goes and gives. So then subordinate is confused. Prabhuji, वो माता जी को ना बोल दिया, इनको दे दिया आपने. किसी को बोलने का नहीं. Sure. So this is non-transparency, correct, no? So then what happens? He has his favorites, whom to give, whom not to give. Okay, at least give little to many, rather than just keep a lot for only one person. So then subordinates observe this, and what subordinates, whichever you tell them don't talk, they will talk to a lot of people. And they will also tell everybody, kisko mat bolna. And the whole temple will come to know. And they know that this senior is not transparent. So the transparency is required. Truthfulness, transparency, honesty in representing. So there are many things like this. Just some of the things that which are at the top of my mind I shared now.
Actually, your answers are inspiring me to ask many more questions, but many other points are coming, especially when you said the authority should quote the previous authorities. He's not hanging from the sky, he's also connected nicely. So I found this very much in His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Whenever he emphasizes on a particular service, he says Prabhupada wanted this. Prabhupada will, and when somebody does the service and gives a report,
Prabhupada will be pleased.
Maharaj says Prabhupada is very pleased with you. So that's very nice too. And regarding transparency is at one level, but sometimes confidentiality also has to be maintained. So an authority may not be able to reveal everything to a subordinate, everything to general people. So when we need to keep some things confidential without breaking the trust of the common devotees, so how do we handle such situations? For example, somebody did something, if that is revealed to everyone, so this person's spiritual life will be a little affected. So he will feel very embarrassed. He may feel very awkward to even come back to the path. So that rectify it, keep it confidential, and allow him time to grow, and then come back and practice nicely. So that's like one way. So how much is the importance of confidentiality?
Yeah. Actually, when the confidentiality becomes important, when this level, there are people like chatterboxes who will go around talking to everybody and creating a bad environment. Then everything need not be told to everybody. The top leaders have to handle certain things, and only the outcome of the meeting can be told to people. And we don't have to get into all the nitty-gritty details while talking to everybody. And the main reason for that is one thing is people will talk to many people, and the end result will come out bad. I'll give you an example. Say one brahmachari was caught talking to a woman for say 80 hours in a month, for example. 80 hours he has spoken on phone in 1 month. So then that brahmachari phone was tapped, and then he was found, and then eventually it was found that he's talking to a particular girl, and then girl was called, parents were called. He was told better you get married, don't do this and everything. Finally he agreed to marry. Now he is ready to marry now. Now both the parents are involved and they both agreed, and the marriage is going to happen next month. So the outcome of this meeting is, we announced to all the brahmacharis, so-and-so brahmachari has decided to move forward to the next ashram. So all of you give your blessings. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. That's all. We do that. We don't tell any details to all other people. Now there will be some 2-3 brahmacharis who little bit know about it. They will talk like that. They will say that, hey, kuch golmaal hua. Isne kuch kapla kiya. They talk like that, some people. So then some other brahmacharis will come and ask, Prabhuji, why are we removing that devotee? So we then tell that devotee, we tell him also, we are not removing you, you are voluntarily moving forward to the next ashram. So we will tell him to write a letter and put it in the ashram notice board that I took training on all these years, I am very happy. I feel a need that if I get married, I will be able to function better as a devotee, nice devotee. So please all of you give your blessings. So they know that he has volunteered to move out. He is not told to quit the ashram. So that should be very clear between the... And I, as a leader, I would tell the brahmachari, if you want to save your face, then this is what we are planning to do. So you tell everybody that you wanted to marry. You are moving on. Otherwise, sometimes some brahmachari, what he does, I wanted to be brahmachari, ye logon ne gala padkar nikal diya. Something like that, they will say like that. And then you will have to tell the people the truth. Isko kyun nikala gaya hai? Kyunki 80 घंटा बात किया. So then both the parties, when these two are fighting, whole ashram will be stinking. Correct? No? So make a proper understanding with him, and he is mature, and the leaders are mature, and the outcome will be what? He is deciding to move to the next ashram. So whenever he and his wife come to temple, they are respectfully treated, welcomed, and nobody talks about the past. People see him still as a friend, because the Kanishta devotees, as soon as they know such information that he talked to some woman for so long, their outlook of that devotee they will lose respect. And then they will say, hey, Maya man, like that they will show hand from a distance. And that is why overall, if you see the goal of not revealing everything to everybody, is to protect the spiritual life of that individual devotee, and to also not allow the other devotees to degrade to Kanishta level, so that they can actually progress. Why? To give them their substance, which they will foolishly munch in their mind. It's like giving somebody non-veg to eat. Why to give such a substance to them? Unnecessary, because they are anyway critical fellows. They are anyway immature fellows. We don't want to increase their immaturity. Therefore, it's kept at the top level.
Thank you. So in the multiple explanations that you have given about transparency, confidentiality, submissiveness, surrender to the authority, so these are very conventional principles which are very appealing and appealing to devotees of certain background, and they find it very actionable and practical and relevant for their spiritual life. But now the Gen Z, the new generation, so those are in their 20s or so they want to know everything. They expect complete transparency and they can't value confidentiality sometimes. I have a right to know everything. Secondly, some people also feel why I need to be submissive. So as you said, titikshaya karunaya maitreya chakhila jantushu. The titiksha quality we need to show when we are dealing with a superior. So the titiksha quality as Kaliga is progressing is just slowly declining. So to make the process of Krishna consciousness relevant and especially to make Brahmachari ashram continue. So how do we deal with this new generation people? So those who joined 10 years before, 15 years, 20 years before, they can all appreciate this. But nowadays, if you keep a 22, 24-year-old bachelor, so if you say these are the principles, you have to submit to authority, you have no right to know everything, so they may not subscribe to it. So how do we deal with such new generation in preaching?
Yeah. We don't allow anyone to join before 25 in Pune, because we consider 25 is a mature age. 21, 22 people we have seen, they come, stay for 2 years and go away. They don't stay longer. Because they prematurely see things in ISKCON and then pick some faults and then go away. But those who come by 25, they finish their college, they have done some job in a company, they have seen the outside world. They understood that they don't identify with the outside world. Then they come into devotee world. They are more mature. That's the first thing. Second thing, actually irrespective of which generation a person belongs to, spiritual principles are altogether different. I've always seen there are boys, who are born in this latest generation, Gen Z generation, but who are very submissive to sannyasis, gurus. I've seen, and at home they are even worshipping Shaligram. There are people, they are doing kirtan, they study the Shastra. There are children like that. On the other hand, in the same generation, Gen Z, there are people living like two-legged animals also. And they are also there. Both are there. So I understood that when you talk about spiritual principles, that doesn't become spoiled by the particular type of generation. It is always there. Like you say, Amaran Prabhu and his brother, they both were brought up by their parents. And then when he went to Minnesota and he did his MBA, and he was telling me, after finishing MBA, he said, I could not identify with my MBA even a iota also. He said, I didn't want to work in a company even for a day, even for a single day. But on the other hand, I could identify strongly with Prabhupada, my special master, and Gaur Nitai, and the Shastra. So he made up his mind after MBA that I'm going to just study Shastra and preach, and then Krishna will take care of me. And that's why now he is in which generation? He is not an old generation. He has been a young boy.
I went to his home also. Yeah. His home is like a brahmachari room only. Altar, Shaligram Shila, and then two of them. So the home is filled with books.
Yeah.
That's what he prioritized.
So, and you find that even in this generation also. So, the idea that the different generation people have, why this division was done, the exposure to social media and other things come in later generation, like for example after 1984. Then in the further generation even more use. So because of that the mind is more disturbed. Whereas the previous generations people are likely to be more calm, cool, collected. But the recent generations have too much exposure to electronic, digital media and all those things, due to which their minds are more disturbed. And due to the disturbed mind, they are very vulnerable to anger, they are vulnerable to stress, they are vulnerable to opposite sex, they are vulnerable to, having a rebellious mood. So these things may come because of the exposure to social media. Now, given the condition, I have never told in Pune any time that you are not entitled to know everything from the top. We have confidentialities which we will not tell you. I have never told in Pune. In fact, in Pune temple, we have 10 feedback emails. Feedback 1, feedback 2, feedback 3. And every month I get at least 5 to 6 feedback mails about different departments. About kitchen, about deity, about preaching, everything. And people write sometimes on 1-page mails, 2-page mails also complaining about certain department, the way certain things are being done. And not only they will put me, they will put that department person also, because they have no fear to put, because they are writing under the name of feedback only. In fact, I reply also, dear feedback for Prabhu, like that I reply. So there is a transparent culture, everybody knows you have the freedom to ask questions. And in fact, many of the HODs felt very angry and upset in the early days. I said, you cannot afford to be like this. Even Motorola, Honda company and all, they have a listen, ask and speak up culture, they call it. In fact, there is one particular day in Honda company, like a hall like this, all the managers will be told to stand on the stage. All the employees can ask them questions. They can ask them why it was decided like this, why it was decided like that, and they have to answer. And all over the wall, everybody can write different suggestions and stick it on the walls. And then all the managers will go and pick it up from the walls, and then if they want to give their contact, they'll give contact, or they may not put their name also. They'll give feedback, which means if Karmi companies are willing to accept feedback with such open arms, then what about devotees like us in ISKCON? We should be very, very open to receive feedback from subordinates. And that type of culture we create, then subordinates will not be suspicious about the authorities. If authorities are in ivory towers, one simple example I tell you. If authorities are sitting in a room enjoying a big feast, and then other devotees are getting only some khichdi, they will say, "Arey, jab leader banoge, tum bhi maza kar sakte ho." Like in South Indian one school, one teacher, she told all her students, nobody should wear lipstick or nail polish. You should not come like that, they said. But all the children started talking to one another because madam was wearing lipstick. And she was having a nail polish also. So one little girl stood up and asked her, "Madam, when can we wear like you? What is the qualification required?" Yes. She said, "Only when you become teacher." You know? So, in this way, now if leaders have a different set of rules for themselves, we can miss the, like one leader was telling, "Roji, Bhagavatam is for the kids. Then I don't have to go." So that's the mood if the leader has. Okay, then very soon you will find many will join him, calling everybody else as a kid. It's for the kids. So I feel that there has to be transparency. Almost in everything we have transparency, except that there are certain things where the transparency would be damaging. Then we don't tell everything. Like for example, if one Mataji in the congregation has undergone some difficulty or something, we don't go and tell everybody about it. In order to preserve the image of the particular family and things like that. Otherwise, most of the things we are transparent and there is nothing much to hide amongst the devotees, and there's an open culture, people can challenge. They can ask questions even to me, why you said this or why you did this. They can ask everybody, every senior. Some very senior people used to get very upset when the emails come. "Bahar aa jao, kaun ho likh rahe ho tum email?" I would tell them, see, why should he come out? He can't, he knows, and that fellow will say, "Prabhuji, अगर बाहर अगर पूछूंगा ना, ये लोग दबा देंगे हमको. इसलिए I am writing feedback." Huh?
Is it anonymous?
Anonymous, yeah. All the feedback 1 to 10 is anonymous mails. They would write, but then many of them have meaningful inputs. They are able to give that. So, therefore, most of the departments know very well that anything we do, we have to give reasoning. Without reasoning, nobody can do any kind of, corruption. You cannot double-fy anything. Transparency top down in the entire culture. Everybody knows it.
Here also in GV we have one system called Man Ki Baat.
Achha, what is it?
Man Ki Baat is devotees just in a Google form, they submit their questions,
Okay.
anonymous again. If they want, they can mention their name also.
Okay.
And our senior devotees will come and answer the questions.
Sir, Monkey Bath it is?
Man Ki Baat.
Achha. The company they call it?
Huh?
The company they call
In
it?
GV we call it.
Is it? Achha. Because monkey is hyperactive, huh?
Not Man Ki Baat.
Monkey Bath. Monkey Bath, our Prime Minister of India also has the same. Monkey Bath.
Man Ki Baat. Looks like this is the most hilarious moment of the podcast. Thank you, Prabhu. So, in this explanation that you have given, you mentioned that transparency very nicely, you have elaborated very nicely. But before that, you mentioned that why people lack submissiveness and obedience to a superior is because of the social media, smartphones, the modern technology, upbringing,
Yeah.
all that. So now, to preach to the masses, Even brahmacharis also have to use these tools of social media,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, whatever other things available. So what care should a brahmachari take while venturing into these platforms with an intention to preach Krishna consciousness? So recently we had a nice certificate ceremony. So some of the Vidyapeeths, actually the senior batch of Vidyapeeths passed out of their Bhakti Vaibhav. So His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj came to the classroom and he offered certificates to all of them. So he was speaking about social media, especially he was speaking about my Zoom classes. So there he made a point that when you're walking on the street, a thorn may pierce your foot. To pick up that thorn, you may take another thorn and just take it out, carefully take it out. But if you're not careful, we'll have two thorns in our foot. Similarly, to preach Krishna consciousness to the modern crowd, we may enter into these Zoom calls and social media, Instagram and all that. But if we don't handle it carefully, we'll have two thorns. We'll have a preaching intention slowly covered by some desire for name, fame, prestige, public attention. It could be a distraction more than a tool to preach. So I think you must be having a lot of comments to make on this way of preaching. So pros and cons, what care we should take, can you please suggest to me?
Yeah. Now, especially after the COVID, I feel all across the globe, the usage of social media has increased tremendously. And the advantages of it is, like you're sitting in GV here and you can reach out to mass of people. Especially nowadays, we go in vernacular language. There's a very great demand. Like Pranav Prabhu is going in Telugu language now. You're also going in Telugu now. Similarly, somebody goes in Odia, somebody goes in Tamil, different languages. There are a lot of Mayavadis are right up there. And these Vaishnavas have to go up and knock down all Mayavad philosophy from there. It's very valuable because they are present in a very big way now. It's very important that our ISKCON devotees go and present the pure philosophy and be available at the top for the people to choose us also. It's very, very important. So, that's one thing. Another thing, nowadays there is a Zoom Japa going on all across the globe. Many people are at home, but faithfully they are attending Japa and also hearing 1 hour lecture every day. And many are becoming transformed and many are actually getting advantage of association. Because one good thing with Indians, good number of Indians is the regularity. Some people are regular, daily they attend like that. They grow also. That's an advantage in Zoom, I feel. And another advantage is, like if you're giving a lecture in a room, a handful of people may attend. But when you make a lecture and put it, people can hear it at that time, and people who are not available, they can hear it later also. They can hear the recording later also. So there are multiple advantages in this. At the same time, we have to talk about the other side, the cons side also. You see, as we joined the ISKCON temple as a brahmachari, we will see that every service we render, it has two components, a material component, spiritual component. The spiritual component is, I want to please Guru and Krishna. Hari Guru Vaishnavas I want to please. The material component is, I will show who I am to the world. Kuch karke dikhana hai duniya ko. That tendency of passion is always there. So, sometimes it is observed that when one goes in social media, one is repeatedly seeing how many likes I got, how many followers I have, or one is taking shortcuts of putting some sensational topics. Because generally in social media, if you put a controversial topic, a lot of people watch. Or leg pulling, backbiting about somebody, or taking some political issue and talking about it. And so, why one resorts to such things? Like one devotee recently, he got like 1 million view of something. And I was surprised how he got this 1 million for a short video. Because he has put this Jagadit Singh song, behind. So he has made a video, but he puts that kind of song, and people are not coming for his video. People are coming for some song. So in this way, people are resorting to cheap popularity, using somebody It's like keeping your gun on somebody's shoulder and shooting with it. They're using someone else and taking advantage like that. So I saw this kind of things, and people becoming crazy, mad after popularity. And also what happens, it can create envy amongst devotees. Like these are simple sadhus, all these devotees. You find that some people become very popular. Others are not able to become popular by dint of their karmic account. Either they develop inferiority complex. Oh, I won't be able to make it in the society today. I am good for nothing. I am useless. And they may be secretly crying in a room. Or one fellow who is becoming very popular is a very young devotee, but he has a social network popularity very big. He may start imagining that I have a halo around my head. I think I am a Messiah who has come to deliver the world. He may imagine things like that about him just because he has a big following. Actually, the social media following is a very illusory thing. Why a million people watch, God knows. And you don't know who they are and they don't know who you are. So, these illusory things, it's a very dangerous thing. I've seen in ISKCON, there are many very, very advanced, mature, senior devotees who don't have the knack of getting into social media. Somebody takes a lecture and puts, and then very few people may be hearing it. But on the other hand, there are very young devotees, very, very new people also, even boys in pants, shirt, jeans, they make music and all, getting millions of followers they get. So social media is a very illusory thing. It may artificially inflate the false ego of the devotees, and it can cause a lot of damage to spiritual progress. So this is the other bad side of social media. So let us see the outcome of this social media approach. You will see that most people, even Instagram and all, people just keep moving. People don't absorb it. See, we all have two sides. We have a man and a chitta. So, if I can show one difference between the man and chitta, one table I have. 2 minutes I can show it. See, the mind is for thinking, perceiving, reacting, whereas chitta is storing impressions and subconscious tendencies. And mind is active, fluctuating, reacts to stimuli, whereas chitta is passive, deep, holds past experiences. And it also retains memories, influences thoughts and all those things. You see? The mind actually is controlling the sensory inputs, making decisions. So, generally this Kurmangani Vasarvashakanta, Krishna says that's only for the mind only, he's saying. Whereas the chitta is subconscious mind stored with a lot of impressions from the past. It cannot be changed easily. It can be changed only through chanting of the holy name and meditation, prayer, contemplation, that kind of thing. See here, we control it through chanting Hare Krishna, meditation, detachment. Whereas mind can be controlled by discipline and focus and all. But the past experiences, plans for the future, and the impression storage, all this is chitta actually. So, see, steps to purify manas and chitta. Mind focuses and studies. Chanting Hare Krishna will focus and steady the mind, but it removes deep-rooted impurities in the lake of chitta. Chitta is like a lake, whereas mind is like the ripples in the lake. Consciousness, subconscious mind, yeah. So, Sadhu Sangha inspires higher thinking, but it transforms subconscious tendencies. So, chitta, if you observe the right side, chitta, it's a very deep thing it is. So, what happens is it's actually our false ego, if it is inflated, then it will directly go to the chitta. and it will make us have wrong designations imposed over the soul. Uh, and that will become very difficult for us to remove. So therefore the outcome benefit of the preaching, if you see, ultimately what we want to achieve is most important. Like for example, we can say that online can bring people to your door, whereas the offline or sangha, personalized sangha, that is like a person coming and living in the house. It's not only up to the door. Because when, imagine people come to the GV, they come and spend the weekend here, and then they have in-person classes. Then they have the personalized association of a devotee has a far more impact. Because when you meet the devotee, offering obeisances, receiving a garland, receiving prasad from the devotee, dancing with the devotees, taking darshan of the deities, rendering some seva, and living in an environment, ambience like this, these things have a far greater impact than just one online class, hearing only online. So, in fact, the subconscious mind has all this karma vasana seeds and all. For them to be burned and removed and all these things, we will need a very impactful association. Advanced association and impactful association. And oftentimes in online it is not possible. So, concluding about this topic of social media and network and everything, I would say that there has to be a team of seniors in your temple, maybe 4 or 5 people, who should actually sanction who can do these things and who should not do these things. Number one. Number two, and if somebody wants to do these things, how is he doing? Is he in a popularity contest, or is he really benefiting the world? So in Pune we have 4-5 member team we have recently made, who can go to YouTube and who can go to all the social media. Although there are many people who want to go, actually some people are not known for coming for the morning program at all. They want to be in, very popular in the outside world. So we told them, first you do your own thing first. Become a proper, like we say, don't desire to appear saintly, be saintly first. So therefore we are not allowing everybody and anybody to go to social media. There is some restriction they made. Somebody is very fond of sitting with computer hours and hours till night, 12 o'clock he is making some YouTube video and uploading. And he is saying, Prabhuji, I got 3,000 people watching, 10,000 people watching. But he doesn't come for the morning program. He doesn't chant with devotees. So I told him, first you khud ko ठीक करो पहले. उसके बाद we can preach to the world. Physician, heal thyself. That's a saying in English, First they should heal themselves. We should see their character. We should see their dealing with opposite gender. We should see their study. We should see their attendance in the morning. We should see their dealings with devotees. So we have many parameters. If somebody is an exemplary, very good devotee, we want him to go to this media and all, because then such people's impact in media is most necessary. World should see them. It is like somebody like Prahlad. Prahlad should be exposed to the whole world. We should not keep Prahlad hidden, like a lamp and kept inside a pot. We don't want.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this brings me to another question. How should a brahmachari deal with the opposite gender? Actually, you mentioned in the very first answer, 3 things are very important for a brahmachari. One is the morning sadhana. Second is honest avoidance of opposite gender. So in that second point, because we are an international society, complete avoidance of opposite gender is not possible. And especially some brahmacharis may be working in certain departments and dealing with Mataji employees also. So how to deal with them in workplace? It's not a home also, and there is office also. So when they are getting some service done through Mataji, for example, DT kitchen is there, garland making is there, and even in our regular accounts department, many other departments, Matajis are also employed and they are working. So what should be the care that a brahmachari should take while dealing with Matajis, not only in the workplace, not only in departments, but in preaching programs? So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah. The most fundamental, very first thing is the reverence. How would you deal with your grandmother? Or how would you deal with your mother? You have a deep respect. Is it not? You have a deep respect for them. When you deal with them. So where the brahmachari has a respect for the woman, his speech and conduct is considered to be very gentlemanly, very proper. And we are brahmachari, so mostly our dealing is supposed to be for the service sake. Correct? And when we are dealing for the sake of seva, we should not bring anything personalized agenda in dealing with them. Like some Mataji is coming for, asking for flowers. If you give flowers, she will make a garland and then come and give it, you keep it in the fridge, and then you offer it to the Lord. But we are not expected to get, close to them by that kind of thing. I wrote one funny skit. If two of them can act, I can show that. Should I? Yeah.
Who will come? Any volunteers? We have some good actors here also. Ajit Mukund bro. Gauracharan bro. Yes, these are two best actors for Mayur and me. This is to welcome them. Yes, bro, come. Anyone else? Yeah, one more mic? Yeah.
See, there is only one drama. There is one is, see, this is drama is Lalita Sakhi Mataji and Mahapurush Prabhu. Achha, it's not coming back. See, there is one Lalita Sakhi Mataji who is talking to first one devotee called Mahapurush Prabhu, who is very frivolous in nature. And in the same drama, Lalita Sakhi Mataji will talk to another devotee, second devotee, his name is Purushottam Prabhu. So, they both are dealing differently, you will see that. Okay, first Lalita Singh Mataji can start, yeah. Start. Actually, Lalita Singh Mataji voice is to be little shrilling voice. Female voice, yeah. Yes. Yes. Start.
Prabhu, Radhika Mataji told me to report to you that Vishakha Mataji is unable to come for garland seva for next one full week. She told you to check whether some of the garlands can be made by brahmacharis or by some other ladies who you can check with.
That's not a problem. If someone like you so sweetly makes a request, how can I deny it? I am simply servant of your servants, and I deeply appreciate your bhakti. I admire your smile, your walk, your talk, as I see similarity between you and our Radharani in our temple. I aspire for your Maha Prasad someday to progress in my devotional service.
I just was asked to inform you about the need for a substitute for Vishakha Mataji for next week. Otherwise, I would have never come to you to hear all these words of flattery. It makes me uncomfortable to hear you speak like this, and it appears to me that it's not very Krishna conscious.
No. Why do you feel like that? Everyone loves you, including me, for your beautiful devotional service, by your singing, dancing in cultural festival, making garland, etc. You simply look like a gopi. And therefore I remember the verse which my Guru Maharaj often says, Gopi Bhartur Padakam Leur Dasa Dasanu Das. I want to assist you in some way.
Enough of all this nonsense, Prabhu! I have to go now immediately. I will complain to my mentor about your dealings now.
Even your anger is sweet. But please don't take this small matter to senior devotees like your mentor. We should not unnecessarily cause them anxiety and disturb their services.
Okay, now the same drama but sober behavior, proper behavior, okay? I can show it.
Prabhu, Radhika Mataji told me to report to you that Vishakha Mataji is unable to come for garland seva next one full week. She told you to check whether some of the garlands can be made by brahmacharis or by some other ladies whom you can check with.
That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all.
There's a problem with the mic.
That's not a problem at all. Thank you for informing me in advance. I'll do the needful.
Mataji also said that you can check with upcoming lady devotees who might come to do that seva or with brahmacharis in the temple.
Okay, I understand. First, I'll check with congregational ladies for the next 1 week service. If I don't get any, I'll check with Pujari Brahmacharis. Hare Krishna.
Yes, that is right, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
That's all. So now you got an idea how a brahmachari is supposed to deal properly. So what was the problem with the first case? He was not just dealing for service sake. He was interested in something more than service. He was taking personal interest in that lady, and she could detect it immediately because women have a sixth sense. They can easily know this brahmachari is having some attraction for me, and there can be trouble after that. So don't become very personal and private in dealing with such things. Second thing is be professional in your dealing. Professional actually means not frivolous, not familiar. Even in IT companies and all nowadays, if you see, many people deal professionally without becoming emotional. Just for the work's sake, you have to deal with them. Because, for example, if there is an employee Mataji in your campus here, she may be married to some man. She may have 1 or 2 children also. She has her family karma to work with. She is just coming here to draw some salary and she is giving some service here. You don't have to become emotional or personal with such ladies. You have some work to get done from them and they have some salary to earn from here. Be professional in your dealing. Whatever work is to be done, you talk to them. So we have to learn to be professional in our dealing and not become emotional, personal with women. So that is a great warning. Because if you try to get close to them, complaint will go to the top. They will report that this brahmachari is staring at me like this and is speaking like that. They will say, later on then you have to deal with your authority after that. So that is, and then third one, maintaining a distance from women. For example, one should never be with a single woman in the same car. Even if you are in the driver's seat, she is sitting behind still. One should not be in the same car. One should not be in the same lift. Like once I went to Juhu temple, the lift door opened, I entered inside. Immediately one young girl came in from outside. Then I got out. Then she said, Prabhuji, I don't mind, she said. But I mind, I said. You may not mind, but I'll be in trouble. I am a monk. A monk is not supposed to be with a single girl in a private lift. It's not proper. You go up, I said. Later on I'll go, the next time I'll go, I said. So you cannot be alone in a room or in a lift or in a car. One should be very mindful of that. And also, for example, there are things which you can do, by email, by communication. You don't need to talk personally. The brahmachari is eager to reduce the talk with opposite sex. You'll be surprised, really? I think we want to increase the talk with opposite. We should be eager to reduce the talk. Even if there is a scope for talking to a very beautiful young girl, we should worry, why should I unnecessarily talk? It will be nice if I can sort out the problem with. Here I gave the class that day, one girl came to me and said, Prabhu, I am from so-and-so place, I want to talk to you. I said, where is your father? Where is your husband? Bring your brother. At least one male person should be there. Oh, she said, oh, really? Okay, I'll come later. That's all. After that, she didn't come. So, one male member should be there with any girl who wants to meet you. If they want to personally meet you, talk to you. Because if 2 males are with 1 woman, nobody will misunderstand. But even in a public place, like in America, there was one retreat camp, some sannyasi was doing it. All houses are like this around, and people attended the camp, and then they all went back into the houses. And the sannyasi was talking to 3-4 people, and one by one they all left. Only one lady was there, good-looking lady. She's sitting in the grass, and Mara is sitting. They were sitting and talking, looking at each other. Somebody has taken a photo. And then they have put it in the internet saying that why the sannyasi is looking into her eyes and talking so intimately with her privately. In one sense, it's not a private place. It's a place in the garden only. All around houses are there. Still, it is not good for a monk to be one-on-one with one woman. It's not good. It is always best for us. We should be very much beware. Oh, I'm talking to a woman, yet I'll be misunderstood. Better take one more male person. I used to tell my assistant, like in America, I was giving a lecture in a university. After the lecture is over, immediately 5-6 girls came all around. I immediately called my assistant, hey, Gopal Prantu, where are you? No. So he was way behind. Prabhuji, I was standing for a long time, so I'm sitting now, he said. Arey, you are my bodyguard. Huh? You should be right next to me if so many girls are coming here. And these girls are asking, can we take a selfie with you? Huh? Imagine one Swamiji is sitting with 5-6 girls taking a selfie. What will people think? So I told, why am I taking you with me? You are my protector. Huh? You should be next to me. He was laughing. What was you are my protector, Prabhuji said. No. I said, both of us are protector of each other. I am police for you, you are police for me. I never travel alone. I always go with one more devotee. So in this way, we have to keep one more devotee with us. And we should never think, I am liberated. No. So these girls are like my little daughters or something like that. No. Even though we may be old, we have to, so one should be cautious of Maya. And woman is not a very good energy to contact for, especially sadhus. The world will look at you critically. You know this IIT Baba recently? Now they are saying he's bogus Baba. Because one girl is very shyly asking him some question, bowing her head, and where are you going to sleep tonight? And you must have seen that small Instagram thing posting. So the Baba is revealed to be bogus Baba now. And he was so much, he became popular during the Mahakumbha. They lifted him up and they put him down now. So as soon as, you see, you know this Mukundanand Swami. Mukundanand Swami is in Dallas. He's a very good soul, preacher, very good preacher in the Kripalu's ashram, this thing. Gaurangpur knows him also. I have not met him personally, but he's a good personality. One very famous Hollywood actress, she started taking interest in his lectures. She started coming and sitting in the lecture. And when she would come, another 200 people will come. Because very famous actress. Now in internet you go and see Mukundan Swami, they are calling Mukundan Swami's wife and they put her name. Of course there is no lafda or anything like that. He is very careful also. But sometimes one-on-one he has to answer her questions when she is asking. So Brahmachari should not be very enthusiastic to connect with girl and cultivate a girl and all. Actually some of us may be thinking, oh, that beautiful girl is interested in my lectures. She said that she has heard all my lectures. Now she wants to be cultivated by me. Very dangerous it is. You cultivate her, tomorrow the world will strip you to pieces. On the other hand, you cultivate a boy, he joins your ashram, very wonderful. Cultivating, we should not be very eager to become familiar with a woman. It's not very good for us. It's a very bad combination, a woman and a monk. A monk is counted as a monkey as soon as he becomes loose with a woman. Monk is no more a monk. So that means keeping distance from women is one thing I told you. Be professional, don't become overly familiar and frivolous while talking to them. And also, service sake, talk for the sake of service and avoid any. Nobody in the congregation also will appreciate if you tell them that, Prabhuji, this girl is my secretary, she's helping me with my work and everything. You say, oh, really? Sadhu Baba is having a girl secretary? They will say, nobody will like it. On the other hand, you say one college student is helping me. Very good. So, that is the reason why it is not, although there are many girls who are very eager to serve saffron brahmacharis, saying that, Prabhu, your lectures are my life and soul and everything, I want to assist you in some service. I'll tell them, definitely I want assistance, I'll put you in touch with so-and-so Mataji. Here is a Mataji, go there, you both of it be there, don't trouble me. So, I have taken so many of these girls writing mails and connected them to different Matajis. Once they went to Mataji, they saw them like elder sister, and then they are growing very nicely. Otherwise, they will hang on to your neck. It will be a big problem. Once Radha Govinath was selling, there was a tree nearby which one creeper was coming, and then the creeper started going around the tree. Later on, the creeper became like steel wire. Bent the tree down and uprooted the tree completely. So the girl is like a woman is like a creeper, man is like tree. Who is stronger in the beginning? Tree. Tree is stronger. Later on, who is stronger? Now you understand the philosophy. So we have to be very careful dealing with opposite sex. This is unnecessary headache. If we can keep aloof from, I actually don't think I am a fanatic, because some of you may be thinking that I speak so strongly. We have a boy's voice, we have girl's voice. In Hyderabad, in girl's voice, there are 200 girls. In Pune also there are 200 to 250 girls are there. Our girls' voice has got about 10 advisory members and about 40 girls teachers. I personally make syllabus, I make girls preaching training course, modules and all I have made. And I connect with girls teachers along with many Prabhujis also. Their husbands are there. We have a male interface point. Without that, we don't talk to them at all. So we have like that. So as much as I'm interested in the boys preaching, if not less, I'm equally interested in girls preaching also. But I don't preach. Girls will be preached by Matajis. Boys will be preached by Brahmacharis. We preach. But I'm eager to see both of them coming, because tomorrow when these boys want to marry devotee girls, when nice devotee girls come there, then 80-90% of the boys will marry. And we want both of them to be devotees. So girls deserve to be respected like mothers. They deserve to be respected with dignity. But at the same time, I'm warning so much, because I have seen in front of my eyes many brahmacharis connecting with girls in a very corrupt manner, improper manner, and falling down. We have seen that. That's why I'm speaking strongly. Otherwise, I myself had 3 sisters. I have grown them. I am like a, next to my father, for my sisters, I am like a father for them. Correct, no? I have seen them one by one getting married also. I have settled them. I have protected them when they were young also. So I know the woman's psychology. I know the way the ISKCON world is. That's why I was warning that while dealing with women, deal with dignity, respect, reverence. That female energy is very, very powerful, and we have to be very careful. That's why so much warnings are given in scriptures.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very comprehensive, very profound. One more question. While devotees are preaching, common
one
people.
last very important point I forgot. Prabhupada writes in one place, if you joke with women and they laugh loudly, a sexually surcharged atmosphere is established. Like the Prabhupada writes in one place. So that means we can joke with boys and brahmacharis, but generally we should avoid joking with women and speak to them in a sober manner, curt speech. And another thing is, sometimes when you are dealing with multiple women in the congregation, some woman may occupy your mind, and then gradually you may develop subtle attachment to that woman. You may want to send special Mahaprasad to them, special gift to them, special appreciation to them. Sometimes a WhatsApp message glorifying them or appreciating them. When we do these things, karmendriyani samyamya yayaste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma, and then he says mityachara sauchyate. Krishna says that happens by that. So the most dangerous in women dealing with brahmacharis is brahmachari developing subtle attachment for some woman which outside people may not know, but eventually it will come out over a period of time. And you will be shocked to know there are brahmacharis who have developed attachment to married women also, who have 2-3 children also. And that woman also has developed a strong attachment to brahmacharis, some brahmachari. She hates the husband, she loves the brahmachari. The reason is, she is housewife at home, and brahmachari has time, she has time. They talk a lot on phone. And poor husband, he is busy with the job. So husband doesn't give time to wife, so the relationship is not building. And brahmachari gives time to the wife, so he builds relationship. Is it good or bad? Huh? It's not bad, it's deadly. It is dangerous. Huh? And therefore the wife virtually considers brahmachari her husband. And she thinks my husband, whom my parents gave, is a good for nothing fellow. Either she thinks. Many times such wives, even in front of husband, they criticize husband. They say, you are a fool. Look at the brahmachari, how he is. And the husbands also feel very bad also. And tomorrow the husband may divorce her. And then the divorced lady may marry the brahmachari also. It has happened like that in ISKCON. All these complications happen in my understanding because of crossing the Lakshman Rekha. Brahmachari should not cross the Maryada limit that is put for us. Like we saw in the skit today. They did skit very well. We didn't give them applause.
Thank you, Prabhu. When brahmacharis are preaching, common people will come and express their problems to the brahmacharis. So now brahmachari may consciously or unconsciously start thinking about their problems with an intention to help them with some solutions. But that also sucks their energy, occupies their mental space. So how much can a brahmachari extend oneself in solving the day-to-day problems of people whom they are preaching to?
Certainly, as senior brahmacharis, we should be able to listen to their problems and empathize with their problem. Tell them, yes, I understood that, I know what you're going through. Appreciate. And then also offer them some practical tips, solutions to them, and ask them to implement them and see how things will go. And then eventually make them take responsibility for their own problem and make an effort to solve it. And you don't take their emotional problems into your head. You don't take. You should only offer help. Because there is a saying, if somebody comes to you with a crying baby, don't receive the baby in your hands. They will drop the baby in your hand and they will go away. And the baby will keep crying. And then you will have to manage the baby. So they have an emotional baby which they are carrying. You tell them, keep baby with yourself. But I have some pointers I can give you how to calm the baby. So you have to only give them ideas. So, in fact, we are all spiritualists. A spiritualist means, two things are very important for us. First, your physical body, to keep it healthy in exercise, walking, some yogasanas, sleeping to, going to bed early, rising early in the morning. Especially after 30, 35, when the body starts getting a little weak physically, so our eating habits have to be very simple. Very simple type of food stuffs we eat, which can easily digest, and exercise, do very well, and keep the body physique very, very good. Similarly, spiritually we have to be sound also to be able to help the people in the world. Just like a man going for the war has to equip himself with bullets and gun and everything. Similarly, for us, the bullet, gun, everything is what study of the Shastra and the morning program. We spiritually strengthen our inner core personality to be able to become a shock absorber while dealing with the material energy, the outside world, when we go. So, for these two things you have to give time, for your physical body as well as your spiritual strength. And emotionally, mentally, you have to be a stable person. For us to, Krishna says, how many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita about not becoming a victim of dualities, So we have to mentally, emotionally be stable. After you do this homework, so you cannot compromise on your own personal care for the sake of taking others' problems. Many times we cut down personal care of ourselves. We don't read Shastra, we don't attend morning program, we don't many times take care of our yogasanas and everything. In the name of caring for other people. Then it's very dangerous. Like in aeroplane, what they say? First, before you put for your child, you have to put for yourself. Janma sarthak pari kara paro upakara. He says, no? When you are taking out the oxygen mask, first you should put for yourself or the child. Which one they say? Yourself first. And then the child. Because if you don't put for yourself, your hand will not even reach the child. Before that you will die. So take care of yourself and then you can take care of others. So this is the first principle. And then second principle I told you already, that while taking care of others, don't take their problems on your shoulders. You tell them to keep the problem with themselves only, but you give ideas to them. See, you are not a problem solver. You are supposed to gradually sow the seeds of leadership in their personality so that they reap the leadership by dint of their hard work, by watering it and growing it and then developing into a plant and a tree and eventually producing flowers and fruits. Because like Arjuna-Krishna combination, if you see, Krishna never told Arjuna that you will not have any problems. He said, you will have problems, but if you remember me, I will be there to support you. Arjuna keeps bringing problems, Krishna keeps giving ideas, and who is the advisor, who is the actor in this? Who is the actor? Krishna is not the actor. Arjuna is the actor. Who is the advisor? So you are all in which role? Advisor or actor?
Actor.
Advisor. You should only advise. Huh? And then who should act? They should act. So you can supply advice to them. You are a Brahmana. You can suggest them. No, you can try this, you can try that. At the same time, you don't have to take the problems on your shoulder. The reason I will tell you why. Because all the jivas are roaming in this world with their own specific karmic accounts. Huh? They have to go through some suffering and some happiness, and uniquely designed by Krishna for them. Huh? Every jiva is undergoing. And you cannot, one example I'll tell you, there was one brahmachari who was preaching to one family. So that family, Mataji was a devotee, her daughter was devotee. But that Mataji's husband was not a devotee. And that husband got some disease and he died. Now this Mataji became a widow. So the brahmachari started feeling pity for that family because she was very poor. Very, very poor family. She didn't have enough money to educate her daughter also. Her daughter is in 7th or 8th standard. And this Mataji used to talk to the brahmachari. Brahmachari used to talk to her on phone hours and hours. Then this brahmachari told her, Mataji, don't worry. When I get donations, I will give you some money for running your family. And somehow that came to the knowledge of another brahmachari who complained to temple authorities. And temple authorities caught him and said, hey, how can you give temple donation to this lady? How can he maintain her family with Krishna's money in the temple? So they sacked all his money and they told him, you cannot collect any money and everything. They warned him and all. Then he started visiting their house and sitting with them and talking to them how to solve the problem. He said, I have some of my relatives, I'll take money from them and give you and everything. Eventually this brahmachari ended up getting married to her. He married this lady and then he considered her daughter to be his daughter. So the whole family, she hung on his shoulder after that. You are my protector, like that, because he gave too much support to them. So this is precisely what we don't want to see happen. Their problem, we cannot take it on our shoulder. Some people have to suffer, what to do. So you empower them and if possible, train them in such a manner that they will develop maturity to handle themselves. One more thing we can also do is, if they are congregation devotees, we can connect them to senior congregation, who can help them, instead of we helping them. Like I have a new couple, upcoming devotees, they're very modern type people, husband, wife and 2 children, and for them I am like everything. They will throw everything and come to Pune and spend half a day talking to me, asking questions. So they see me more like a friend than a, they are not coming to me for only philosophy. They are drawing some support from me like a family friend type of thing. So I connected them to one very good couple. And then I told the couple that you gradually make them chant and everything. So husband has come to 16 rounds now. Wife is joining some rounds. So we have to gradually hand over the families coming to us and loving us very much. Make them develop love for some congregation. So your shoulder will be relieved then. Otherwise, if you are going to keep them with you, in the long run, you will not be able to take care of too many couples also. And the woman's emotional expectations are very high and we cannot support. It's not possible. So we need congregations. That's the reason why His Holiness Ranath Maharaj has made the counselor system for them. So counselor will do counseling and we will give only spiritual preaching. We can give spiritual guidance, we can give philosophical knowledge, we can give. Beyond that, we can say, brahmacharis are like birds, congregation are like fishes. Maharaj told that analogy. If a bird wants to help the fish, the bird will get submerged in water. And resulting, they will die. So, we cannot. Therefore, I frankly tell many grihasthas, the problem you are bringing to me, I am not capable of solving it. We are sadhu babas, what do we know? We never raised a family. We never had a wife or children. So better I guide you to one grihastha family, they will help you. And they also tell me, thank you Prabhu for you, being so honest. We will we know you can't guide us. You guide us to some family, they will guide us. They also understand. But the brahmachari who is eager to keep people in his pocket, and if he tries to keep all congregation with himself only, not connect them to anybody, then the burden increases, emotional burden increases, then his personal life and sadhana, exercise is taking in, that will get up.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. One last question. Is there something like midlife crisis for a brahmachari? Means initially they join in 25 or something like that. A decade will pass like that. All yatras are new, and philosophy is new, and devotees are new, services are new. So like that they come to 30s or 40s. So sometimes brahmacharis may feel some lack of emotional fulfillment. They may even change ashram also. And some brahmacharis may stay in the ashram but still not very inspired, not very productive, or they may just may become little dull, feel a sense of loneliness. So is there something like that? If so, how to address it?
This is a very important topic. In my travels in many places people have been asking me. So I made some notes on this sometimes before. A few months ago, this question was asked to me by many people in my travels. So let me check whether I...
After this question,
You can see this? Is it big enough for all of you? Yes, then again, yeah. You see, as it is said here, the nature of the challenge is spiritual rather than material, it is written. How it is, we will see. The phase of late 30s and 40s can bring new internal struggles, not external struggles. Just as 20s and early 30s were about externally proving one's commitment to the ashram. Like for example, when you are newly joined brahmachari, 20 to 30, there is a new inspiration and novelty of the ashram life, you have a strong determination, and we also go for Harinam together, book distribution together. So there is a lot of, nice association of seniors and equals both. And then you get external validation. Morning the score is announced, and then you get some new challenges and you fulfill it and get pat on the back, appreciation you get. So that is new life. But as you come to 30, 40, the new factors arise, you see. Initial enthusiasm may not feel the same because ashram is no longer new. We may get into problem of this daily routine becoming boring. Morning program. The long-term renunciation becomes a little heavy. Oh, will I be able to do this for whole life? That kind of question comes. Or hormonal and psychological changes. There is one word used there, testosterone levels. What is this testosterone? In man, when this testosterone levels are high, that causes the mustache, beard to grow, and also the, like here he has given here, I have taken out what is testosterone, I have written below, in small letters I have written. It says that it causes the physical development for deep voice, facial, bodily hair, muscle mass, all that. And then it also affects your energy, motivation, drive, focus, enthusiasm. It influences our mood and emotion, confidence and resilience and all that. So this is testosterone, which is high between 20 to 35. After 35, this level reduces. That means there is a physical debility. That's a physical reduction in strength and everything. So now also it helps in the sexual function and the bone and muscle strength also it gives. Why is it relevant to brahmacharis? Because the hormonal change with age, testosterone levels naturally decline after 30 to 35 years. which may affect their energy level, enthusiasm and emotions. And the lower levels of testosterone may cause mood fluctuations and emotional vulnerability. Actually, what happens is, when you become 35, suddenly you find your body is little weak. Not like before. The muscles, bones, they are little weak. And the masculine, power which you had between 20 to 35 is reducing. And then you develop a fear that if my body is becoming so weak, what will happen to me? And then mind also is affected, he's saying, due to the spiritual strength versus hormonal influence. While the body has biological tendencies, a brahmachari's strength comes from spiritual practices, self-control, and deep engagement in Krishna service. So there are 4 ideas given here. When your testosterone level is going down beyond 35, what all you should do in order to feel stable, energetic, and enthusiastic for your whole life. How many of you want to be like that? Here's the secret. First is active lifestyle. That's the first thing he says. Active lifestyle, which means engage in physical service, exercise or walking. Make sure you walk, you dance, you exercise, do some yoga daily, physical service. Nowadays, whole world is talking about moving the body and not sitting in one place. Correct, na? Move, they say. The more you move the body, your motion is good and the bodily joints are all good. So, I also learned recently, suddenly in January I'm supposed to go to America, Jan-Feb. I developed such a severe back pain that in the morning when I would get up from the bed, I can't just walk also. It was such a severe pain in the tail. And later on I found out when I went to some doctors in Pune, all of the doctors said there is a problem in the spine, L2, L3, L4. We will put a screw, we will do some operation, they said. So I was afraid if they put an operation and put a screw, I don't know what will happen to my spine. Instead of that, I went to Sudarshan Prabhu in Belgaum. Then he told Prabhu, no need of surgery, no need of operation. You just have to do exercise of all the joints in your body. You are getting old. I am 56 now. So he taught one exercise. Actually, you move the spine like this, and with these eyes you have to see the left leg bottom. Similarly, when you move like this, you have to see the left leg. I'll show you after this session. I'll show you how it is be done. So he taught that after I started the exercise, now all the pain is gone now. So he was telling every joint you should apply oil. This tilka tail, this joint, wherever you have joints, all these joints apply, and then you rub it, both, especially the hand and the leg. If every day you do it, that actually makes your inner mechanism very flexible, like you get a gymnastic body, you get. Very, very elastic and gymnastic body you get. Oil apply, especially applying this little oil, applying and then rubbing is very important. And then movement of the joints. He said every joint has to move. First you start with this, and then move like this, and then move like this, every joint. So, keeping the bodily joints very flexible, that's the first thing. And then balanced diet, simple sattvic food with nuts, dairy, fresh fruits, helps overall healthy size. Which means, beyond a certain age, our eating we have to see whether we are able to digest. If the stool falls in the commode and glides down below without sticking, that means your motion is perfect. Like it falls like a banana, it goes down. And not even one bit is sticking. That means you have a healthy stomach you have. If it goes down and stays sticking, that's like if your tawa is not very hot, you put dosa in that, it will stick. If tawa is very hot, dosa will easily come out. Correct, no? That means your jatragni is strong, then your digestion is good. You should only eat as much as you can digest. Then that means your body is going to be strong. Otherwise, more food we put, we have a big belly and we have to go to doctor and body appears very, head appears heavy. In the morning we are not very listening. Third is regulated rest. Proper sleep, not too much, not too little. Sleep early, rise early, balance hormones. See, for hormonal balance, good sleep is required. I used to get a breakage in sleep at 12 o'clock daily. Now it's much better than before. So if you can get 6 hours sound sleep, 9 to 3. And then strong sadhana, chanting, studying shastra, associating with devotees. Help the mind stay above material influences. This is most important for senior brahmacharis, to stay above material influences. Body will create problem, but we will not be subjected to problem because you stay above the waves. Sroto ganatta maranam bhajavasudevam. That verse says, stay above the waves of material world. Thus, while testosterone affects the body, a brahmachari's real energy comes from Krishna conscious engagement, which keeps both body and mind healthy and spiritually focused, he says. So, now coming back to this, when brahmacharis in late 30s, they find initial enthusiasm is going away and long-term renunciation becomes little difficult, hormonal and psychological challenges, changes come. And then external validation is, see, when you are a new brahmachari, many people pamper you. But when you are old brahmachari, you may eventually become lonely because you are in your own little service and everybody is busy and not much special recognition programs for the older devotees. Then you may feel a little lost. There is a possibility. And then here he is saying some solutions to that. This leads to new challenges. Dissatisfaction with the same daily routine, emotional needs surfacing, longing for companionship or deeper friendships, feeling unappreciated or somebody is questioning your service. अरे कुछ कर रहे होगा नहीं तो खाता सोता पीते हो. Like people ask you. If sadhana weakens, material desires may increase subtly. That means I told you. Sadhana is getting weak, we may be developing attachment to a woman, like that may happen. So, why doesn't it happen to some brahmacharis? Okay, 1 minute, I'll do one thing. I will make it a little bigger. Now it is big enough for you? See, why it doesn't happen to some brahmacharis? See, not all brahmacharis go through this phase intensely. Why? The difference lies in their internal cultivation. This is what makes it different. Okay, internally what these guys are doing? Number one, deep shelter in Krishna and Guru. Those who cultivate strong attachment to Krishna, Guru and Shastra, they remain stable. The inner connection gives them higher taste. So Param Drishtva they experience through that inner connection. So what is the meaning of this? Our innocent childlike faith in Prabhupada, in Guru and Krishna, that has to be strengthened by reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, Prabhupada pastimes, and also spiritual masters' lectures, and then developing genuine faith in Krishna. Because Krishna is our mother, Krishna is our father. How many times I remember hearing from my spiritual master reading Gaulila Katha, isn't it? Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, Krishna is your real friend. Krishna is your life and soul. Krishna is your real wealth. So, to get a little taste of that. Secondly, higher engagement in preaching and studying. Brahmachari remains actively engaged in preaching, learning, writing or leadership. There is no time for self-absorption, self-absorbed dissatisfaction. See, instead of worrying about the little me, I, me, mine, we should worry about Krishna and Krishna's mission, Krishna's movement. So, His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Maharaj said, in Vrindavan, when he joined, 25 years he was in charge of Sankirtan bus. Every day, 10 hours, they will distribute books. 8 to 10 hours, he said. So in this way, I heard that, those people who are into some service, you have identified one service. You can be Pujari also. But you are 25 years Pujari. Always thinking about how to dress Vrindavan Vihari, how to make ornaments for them, how to make dresses for them, how to cook nice bhoga for them, how to see them smile. So some service like that one has to take up and fully become absorbed in that service and then get a higher taste. Higher engagement in preaching and study. Actively engaged in preaching, learning, writing, leadership, everything. Okay. Third one, strong sadhu sangha. We have to maintain deep relationships with senior Vaishnavas to get fresh inspiration. Spiritual friendships help remove internal struggles before they become overwhelming. So in Pune, whenever people like Prabodhananda Saraswati Maharaj, as well as Bhakti Vaishnava Ashram Maharaj, as well as Bhakti Prem Maharaj come, I tell the brahmacharis that you go to the room, meet them and ask questions, spend and travel with them to the different home programs also, talk to them in the car, be honest in asking your questions and learning from them. Because they are all people who are like sannyasis and very, very dedicated. Whom more you are very inspired by, spend more time with them. That's what I tell them. So many of the senior devotees take out time, like our Sampad Goprabhu is here from Pune. He is very fond of his own Shivaram Maharaj. So he met him, and then he also goes to Mayapur. He distributes his books and reads his books like Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani and all. So somebody has a attraction for a Vaishnava, that's a very rare thing. So I very much fan it. Like recently as well as Bhakti Rasamurti Maharaj and Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, they were giving I think 3-day workshop, 3-day? 3-day workshop in Goa they were giving. So lot of devotees from Pune we sent. Pune and Bangalore and Hyderabad and many other places. We sent about like 70-80 devotees went from all these different places. I encourage people. I know that I cannot give that inspiration which they can get from more senior people. So, in the event of me being a little younger devotee, not so advanced, then I can make way for them to associate with very advanced devotees and develop that internal inspiration. Internal. So in this way, by sadhu sangha, they develop great confidence in spiritual life. Especially grown-up devotees, you can't satisfy them with some simple lectures. They need something that really delights the soul. And then seeing brahmacharya as a lifelong choice, not an experiment. If one enters with a permanent mindset, then fluctuations don't shake the foundation. You see? Srila Prabhupada set an example by remaining fully engaged in Krishna consciousness despite external challenges. In Pune also generally I used to tell the boys, see, join the ashram only if you want to lifelong continue. But then he would say, Prabhuji, that means you cannot marry at all. Sir. Right now I am telling you cannot marry, but later if you want to marry, I will allow you to marry. But you should think that I am going to stay forever. Stay high forever. With that mindset we should come in. An acceptance of the realities of renunciation. The mature brahmacharya understands that longing for the companionship is natural, but sees the limitations of material relationships. Instead of seeking external validation, he deepens his internal fulfillment. External validation means somebody tells me I'm all right, somebody gives me a pat on the back. So we may not get that always. If you're growing. If any of you here, you feel that nobody knows me, what I am doing, and I am feeling alone, one easiest way for you to get encouragement in spiritual life is to start reporting to your senior regularly in some period of time. Like every quarter you can report. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. 4 quarters you submit a report to your senior. Wait and watch how much appreciation you will get. If you make a regular report and submit. Like I am going to America preaching. Every 3 months I submit a report to the GBC. GBC's. In fact, I get response also from them. Very appreciated. In fact, I go to 10 places in America. I collect the reports from all the 10 places. It's a huge total report will be like 150 pages for every quarter with all the photos, different programs that we did. So when the GBC members, many of them wrote appreciative of. So when you are accountable, you get appreciation also. Otherwise, your authority is hoping and praying that you are alive, you are still alive, you are going on somehow. But if you report, then for them also it's encouragement for you also. So make it a point to report if you really want some recognition, some appreciation, validation. And then acceptance of the real, correct. And then how to navigate this phase? Deepen the study of Shastra, like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, more deeply, taking shelter of the spiritual literature. It refreshes your mind. And seek new forms of engagement. Like for example, if you are feeling very monotonous, you can expand your contribution. For example, Vamshivardhan Prabhu was only giving Bhakti Shastri in Pune. At one point out of me asked me, Prabhuji, many temples outside are calling me, can I go? I said, yes, many years ago. Then he started going to Rohini temple, this Panjabibag temple. Then he started going to Chandigarh. Then he started going to Delhi. Then Calcutta, then Mayapur, then Vrindavan. Now he's going to Mauritius also, Australia. Many places they're calling him. Very good teacher. So now he is having a whole calendar filled with engagements, correct? No? Similarly, Gauranga Shimpu, he has in a year almost 3-4 months he goes, correct? No? 4 months he goes. Yeah. And also as well as Raghunath Maharaj encouraged many of his senior disciples to take responsibilities in different parts of the world. Also they go and do. You do some things and then you also share it. Like we invited Sanat Kumar Prabhu to come to Saswad, So there are 1,000 farmers in Saswad. So by his encouragement, and many of those farmers are doing organic farming and protecting the cows. So here is like a, for him this is like a testing ground. He will do some nice thing here and then he will come to share in different places. So in this way, each of you, whatever you are doing in your area, then for feeling fresh in your spiritual life, you can go to another place and share it also with others. Then you will feel some new thrill. Seek new forms of engagement if one service becomes monotonous. Look for ways to expand one's contribution. Writing, training, and all those things. Like you see, Damodar Prabhu and Radha Gopinath Prabhu, they were going country to do what course? Devotee care course. It's a very great thrill, going to different parts of the world and teaching. So only be honest with senior mentors. Openly discuss struggles with a trusted guide. Many times, when you have one senior devotee to whom you open your heart and share, and you'll be shocked that you'll be surprised that the problem went away already. By opening it and speaking it, the problem is evaporated. And keeping silent can lead to bottled up frustration. You know what is bottled up? Bottle is closed and inside it is boiling. Like that. But guidance from an experienced devotee helps break the illusion of dissatisfaction. We should never fear opening our heart to a senior devotee. क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में? उनको लगेगा कि मैं उतना प्रगतिशील भक्त नहीं हूँ, मैं पतित हूँ. So like that we fear. But if you open your heart, you know, they will help you. They will help you to come out of this illusion or whatever. And focus on the goal of Krishna Prema. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of my life? Is it temporary comfort or eternal bliss in Krishna's service? Keep a long-term vision instead of short-term struggles. Develop strong Vaishnava friendships. Engage in deep, meaningful discussion with like-minded devotees, you see. Then actually in Pune we have something called as AC groups, we call it. AC groups are accountability coordinator groups, we call it. Actually we saw that counselor system. In the long run, counselor is not so much able to give time. The counselor only solves problems if they have problem. Otherwise there is not much interaction. But we made equal devotees group. So 8 devotees we made, and made one whomever they wanted as leader amongst them only, equal friend only, we made them leader of the group. And then they are reading Bhagavatam together. They are reading Bhagavatam, CC together. They chant together in temple hall like that. So we all need our own network of devotees with whom we can make nice friendship. And idle thinking can be avoided. Idly staring at the sky and thinking, "Mera kya hoga?" That kind of thinking should be given up. Yeah, yes, next.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's like a series of mini lectures on each topic. We have a lot of food for thought to churn, contemplate, reflect and apply. So I think you have given us enough subject matter to reflect for the next several months, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Your years of experience and absorption in sadhana, seva, sadachar, and guiding so many devotees